24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
AM 800 KXIC.
And it was on DirecTV. This was a godsend for DirecTV. And they've had it since DirecTV's inception. But the NFL and YouTube are now partners here. The traditional media is not going to play a role moving forward. We're seeing that. Just different places with, a lot more money and needing that content there. Yes, Todd?
They do need to figure out a way, if there is technically, where you can flip from one channel to another without having to have 9 different remotes. And
yeah, you kind of can. If you have, depending on what type of streaming TV you have, you should hit one
I don't think it's that easy.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Yeah.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Make the Babaganoo!
Ben Maller has a way with words.
I've got battery salesman, action figure, and Juicy Lucy.
He has all the ingredients for the Baba Ganoush.
Oh my God, no! Ah!
And Ben Maller is the king of the late nights.
And we're going to make the Babaganoosh. We're going to make the Babaganoosh.
This is the Ben Maller Show. And you can hear him right here. Weeknights, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Mornings on FS1. Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Weekdays at 9:30 Eastern on FS1
Hawkeye
and the
Sports
Fox Sports
and
app.
Fox Sports. AM 800. KXIC Iowa City. Available everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now number 1 for podcasting.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network.
From Learfield,
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling, presented by
Pioneer, an American seed brand since 1926.
Also brought to you by Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, your family-friendly, dependable, and honest auto repair shop. Celebrating 29 good years in Iowa City. Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge, a luxury hotel and spa, 5 restaurants and more. Just minutes south of Iowa City. Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network.
And by Pioneer, an American seed brand since 1926. Now, welcome to Hawkeye Wrestling.
Welcome back into Extreme Arena in Coralville for the final session of the 2022 inaugural edition of the Soldier Salute. Stephen Grace, Mark Ironside saying thanks for joining us as they are announcing your finalists and getting ready to get things underway as we begin this session. The Iowa Hawkeye men are sitting in first place. They have locked this up mathematically. They did a long time ago. 187 points. Army second with 98. Wyoming has 92.5. Columbia 87.5. South Dakota State 75.5. On the women's side, your team scores: Army with 103. The Iowa women, wrestling all unattached, have 97.5. Life University 89.5. Indiana Tech 87, and Iowa Wesleyan at 75. And we have a full complement of black and gold wrestlers, including right here 4 in the finals between the men's and the women's. Drake Ayala versus Spencer Lee. Weren't sure if we were going to see it. We are. And then on the women's side, Sterling Diaz and Emily Gonzalez. So there's Spencer, front headlock, getting around behind, and gets the takedown.
That was a hard snap by Spencer right there on Drake's head. Snapped him all the way to the mat. Came around behind, got a quick takedown. Drake hasn't gotten the escape yet. I thought he had the escape. Actually, I thought the referee gave him the takedown kind of prematurely.
That's what I thought too.
Very prematurely. So Drake kept wrestling, and but Spencer ended up obviously getting the takedown. Now he has Drake loaded up in that tilt too. He's tilted Drake over. Did he get all 4? He did get the full count.
Yep. So that'll make it a 6-0 lead. 45 seconds gone by here for Spencer Lee. Our tournament preview brought to you by Hy-Vee. Score big savings. Shop online at HyVeeDeals.com.
You got Tom and Terry Brands in the corner for Spencer Lee. And then Pat Lugo and Dan Dennis in the corner for Drake Ayala. Drake wrestling unattached. So Tom and Terry technically, legally, cannot be in the corner for a guy wrestling unattached. So they couldn't be in the corner for Drake Ayala if they wanted to.
Right.
As we've seen throughout the whole tournament, that the Hawkeye Wrestling Club members have been in the corners for the guys wrestling unattached. And this is where Spencer obviously is going to shine over Drake, is on the top position like he does. Spencer does everybody. I think, oh, look at this. He's got Drake on his back, and there's the fall. Just like that, he pinned Drake Ayala. Just turned him over, kind of like in a armbar, put him on his back and pinned him.
Well, it was weird because it was almost like he got that armbar and kind of like pulled it as he was getting up a little bit and turned it into that whip over. That was impressive. Spencer Lee getting the award for the championship at center mat. It's actually kid I went to high school with, Brandon Keeler, presenting those awards. His daughter's one of the West Branch wrestlers, West Branch women wrestlers.
Spencer was fired up to wrestle Drake right there.
He was.
You could tell. He was fired up for that match right there.
Threw his stuff over to Tom. He's still talking to Tom a little bit. Almost like, is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted to see? Over here in the women's match, Sterling Diaz, a 4-0 lead over teammate Emily Gonzalez. The other matches on the men's side, we got Nick Babin of Columbia, a 2-1 lead over Volk, and no score between Bergnick and Orr from Citadel, Bergnick from Army. Well, they are going to finish all 6 mats before they move on to the next one. Mark, Cody Goodwin came up and gave me some stats for the Hawkeye women wrestlers. 30-4 so far this weekend. 18 tech falls and 9 falls.
What was it?
30-4, 18 techs, 9 pins. You couple that with what they did at their only other tournament in Missouri Valley. They are now 66-6 on the season with 43 techs and 11 pins.
But are they keeping? Did you say were they getting beat by Army?
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of points to be had with some of these round robins that haven't come together yet. He said of those 6 losses the Hawkeye women have had on the season, they're going to get number 7. The 4th of which will be just like this, where it's head-to-head.
Head-to-head, yeah.
So they've had 3 head-to-head matchups already that have accounted for 6 of their losses on the year.
Just had a fan ask us, too, if Abe Assad will be wrestling tonight. I don't know. His knee was his knee got torqued pretty good in that semifinal match. When he was ahead at the end there, he was actually on bottom, I think, if I remember. No, he was on top.
He was on top.
And the guy, it was in a funky situation, but the guy grabbed his ankle and completely lifted it and torqued it against the joint. And the referee did not call potentially dangerous, and it was clearly wide open, like it was right in front of them. We saw it from sitting up here, plain as day, and that referee finally ended up blowing the whistle, but it was like 8 seconds too late. The damage had already been done, and that's what's very unfortunate, that to have an injury happen like that, that's so preventable.
Yeah.
And he walked off the mat hobbling pretty bad, trying to jog, trying to be tough, but it did not look good. So I'll be surprised if Abe wrestles tonight. And if he does wrestle tonight, then that's a really, really good sign.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if he does.
Fall over there in the 3rd place bout. I believe that is Wilson of Indiana Tech over Elena Sunland of Iowa Wesleyan. 4-0 still is the lead for Diaz against teammate Gonzalez. 1:15 to go. From up here, Mark, those two look like they could be sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, their bodies are almost identical, same hair color. I mean, just face shape, everything. They look almost like twins.
tiny, 101 pounds.
I was talking to a friend of mine that his daughter wrestles at West Branch too, and he's like, what are the weights they're going to do for duels? I'm like, I'm assuming the weights they have here. I mean, I haven't followed close enough on the women's side, just knowing that they aren't competing yet. And he's like, well, the smallest is 100 in high school. 101 seems really small in college, but you get several pretty darn good athletes that have gone at it here this weekend. So there is DS, it looks like, in on another shot.
And these are freestyle rules.
She gets a passivity point. And
push
now
out.
Push out. So that'll be another one. So she's up 6-0.
Man, going back to that Spencer and Drake match, Spencer he came out on fire. He snapped Drake so hard with his right hand, clubbed him on the back of the head, snapped that arm down to the mat, and then got that kind of like go behind there. And Drake fought it off for a really, really, really long time, and ended up Spencer getting on top, hooked up his turn, but then he got like the arm on the back and then kind of just like a half and a whip over type action there, and it was good night, sayonara, good night after that. And when Spencer won, he got up and he stood over the top of Drake Ayala and just like, I don't know if he said anything to him or just stared at him, but it wasn't like in a nice, hey, let me help you up, buddy, my best friend, teammate. It wasn't like that at all. It was like, that is the difference between you and me, and don't think that you're on the same stage as me.
Yeah.
And he was out there to prove it.
Yeah.
It was almost kind of awkward a little bit. I mean, Spencer showed some serious competitiveness tonight.
DS does win 6-0 over there.
Now, I will say that, weighing in at 10 o'clock this morning and wrestling at 6 o'clock tonight, that's a huge benefit for Spencer over Drake. If they would have wrestled this morning on a 2-hour weigh-in or yesterday on a 1-hour weigh-in, then but I don't know if that would have really mattered because it only lasted just over a minute anyway, But Spencer just looked like a man on a mission tonight. Like he had a point to make, and he made it.
One more match to wrap up, so let's step out. We'll take our first break here of the evening. We'll be back with more from Coralville. You're listening to the Soldier Salute. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Dear driver, on the way to pick up my child, my life flashed before my eyes. It was me you nearly crashed into. Time stopped. I felt hot like I was wrapped in a blanket. I was thrown into a blur of blinding colors. I saw my husband, children, and mother standing over me. I heard someone screaming. It was me. I saw my hands on the steering wheel. My car steered to avoid you, but it didn't seem like I was even driving. My car stopped alongside the road. I was shaking and out of breath. I was so scared. For me, for other drivers, for you. Dear driver, we share the same roads. Please be careful. Our loved ones are waiting.
What drives you? This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Want to know what to get me for the holidays? I'll make it easy. I love the great local foods at Local Craft Cellar. From Edgewood Locker hams and smoked turkeys to Milton Creamery cheeses. There's nothing at Local Craft Cellar that's not delicious. Really want to get on my good side this holiday? Include Local Craft Cellar's liquor-infused chocolates or craft beer, wine, and spirits. Could I make it any easier? Visit localcraftcellar.com. That's localcraftcellar.com.
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Welcome back to the Soldier Salute. Stephen Grace and Mark Ironside. We've got 133 pounds on the men's side, 109 pounds on the women's side. On the women's side, third place will be Genevieve Alejandro of Tiffin against Ava Bayless from the Hawkeye women's wrestling team. Fifth place will be Tahani Soares of Indiana Tech against Corey Phillips of Life University. And the championship bout will be Brianna Gonzalez of the Iowa wrestling team against Mia Palumbo of Iowa Wesleyan. She was a national finalist at NAIA last year at 133 pounds on the men's side. Fifth place will be an Army head-to-head, Ryan Franco against Rich Traynor. Third place bout will be Iowa's Jace Rhodes taking on Brendan Ferretti of Navy. And your championship bout will be Iowa's Colin Schriever taking on Angelo Rini, a junior from Columbia with a 7-5 record. Underway. Keep an eye on both Rhodes and Schriever. Actually it's kind of nice. They've got the dog bone, so you've got the two championship mounts in the center, and it's actually the two mats on the near side are the third place. So we've got woman wrestling on the third place match, woman wrestling on the championship, men wrestling on the championship, men wrestling on the third place. It's just kind of a U right here.
It's what you call a dog bone. It's just like if you think of a dog bone, it's got the two ends and then straight in the middle. What's the story in the background on this Rini from Columbia here?
I don't know much about him. It just shows he's 7-5 on the year.
Angelo Rini, 7-5 on the year coming into this tournament. He won first round 9-0, won the second round in a fall by 353, and then in the semis he won 10-3.
Nice low single there by Schriever, trying to get his head to the outside.
Coming up with it, doing a great job up high with it, trying to trip him up. Rini trying to kind of like hop backwards. Schriever doing a great job pulling him in, trips him up, and did not solidify the takedown yet. He's got it shelved. He's got the leg up on his thigh, trying to limp arm out of this. They
slide out of bounds, head back to the center, no points.
Dang it. That's great wrestling by Schriever. Schriever's been coming on this tournament. Those are takedowns we need to have, though.
We're there in the third place women's match. Ava Bayless with the takedown to the back for 4, gives her a 5-0 lead. 2-0 is the lead for Gonzalez in the women's championship at 109. One thing I forgot to tell Shammy when he was up here is I've enjoyed the soundtrack they've got going in the background. They just have some music playing real low. Some good tunes.
Well, when Hannah and I were down there throwing the ball around between rounds, they were playing the Rocky IV soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
That was really good to hear. I haven't heard that for a long time. Some Survivor. Just really good stuff. Man, Schriever, I wish he would have finished that takedown here in the first period.
It looked like he had it. He just didn't quite get it secured. Third place women's, Bayless gets taken down, so she leads 5-2. Championship. Ooh, a shot ways away, almost a whip over by the women, and then Schriever just gets taken down. He's up to his feet right away, looking for that hand control. Trying to get returned. Gary does go back to his base. Trying to get that hand control. I was looking at the women's match. I didn't see what happened. There's the escape for Schriever right on the edge of the mat. He was able to stand up, square up, right before they went out of bounds. That's a big escape with just 16 seconds left. How about a takedown in 15 seconds to give yourself a lead going to the second?
That'd be really nice, but I don't see it happening.
Two 2-0 is the lead down there for...
Is that Gonzalez?
Looks like Ferretti leading Jace Rhodes. He must have got a takedown right at the very end.
Jace Rhodes has had a good tournament. He's been having a good season for a true freshman. Wrestling well in the open tournaments. Very competitive.
Schriever up to his feet again, gets thrown back down to his hip. Stands back up, trying to drop those hips and square up, but they go out of bounds, head back to the center. Rhodes gives up the escape to start the second period, so he's down 3-0 now. Schriever into a sit out.
Nice.
Gets
Good
the
job.
escape.
Well done, Schriever. Had that sit back there, and then looks like Jace Rhodes just got taken down again. He's going to trail 5-0. Schriever did a good job getting hand control, getting his hips out and away, cutting away.
Oh, and then he took a shot. Oh, luckily he was able to scramble. Looked like he took a shot and stopped. Almost gave up a go-behind, but he was able to scramble and explode back up.
It's all tied up 2-2 right now. Here in the second period, just over a minute to go. I'd like to see Schriever get back to the leg like he did in that first period. He's trying, though. He's lowering his elevation. He's hitting some penetration. Just can't get to the legs of Reaney. Jace Rhodes is down 5-1 over there. That's for the third place match.
There he
Nice
gets to
shot.
the ankle again.
He's got it
Elevates
up
it.
high. He's got to go higher. See, he's got it under the armpit.
Yeah.
Take that up onto the shoulder. Take it up onto the shoulder. There you go. Finished in bounds.
Able to lasso up both ankles before they go out of bounds.
What's Reaney complaining about?
They thought he was off onto the floor itself instead of on the mat. So
Well,
he was all the way out of bounds.
If that's the case, then you gotta give
Stall
Schriever,
call.
yes, absolutely, a stall call for fleeing the mat. But it was 100% the right call.
Schriever leads 4-2 with 20 seconds left. Reaney trying to switch back in. Schriever driving the shoulder into the side. Works him back down to his hip. Rhodes a trail 5-1 as we go to the third period. Schriever leads 4-2. Ooh. Big throw over there in the third place bout. Now Bayless trailing 6-5. Couldn't tell if they had started parterre for some reason and she picked her up and threw her that way, or one way or the other. She basically just launched her over the top. You got a 4 exposure for it. Gonzalez going to win on mat number 1, 6-0.
Jace Rhodes trailing 5-1 right now in the third period of his match. Almost up to his feet, makes it 5-2. With a minute and a half to go. Schriever riding tough right now on Reaney. It's his third period, right?
Yeah. Looks like just 36 seconds riding time for Ferretti. A minute 8 to go. Schriever putting on a decent ride here. He is at 29 seconds towards his riding time, leading 4-2. Bayless trailing 8-7 now. And that's one of those round robin brackets on the women's side. They got to wait to see how that one goes to determine who's going to win. So that's why I say, I think any of these 3 competitors could win, so that completely changes where you get points within the tournament. So that's why maybe the Iowa women look like they're at a different spot. And, they could get first and second, first and third, second and third.
It's a lot of extra points.
Yeah. And it's 8 points difference between fourth place and first place, so. Rainey to his feet, they go out of bounds. Bayless in on a shot at the end, but could not finish. So she will lose 8-7.
Jace Rhodes giving everything he's got at the end of that match, but ends up losing 6-4. Good turn for Jace Rhodes, though. And then Schriever over here up 4-2, just putting on one heck of a ride here to the third period. Just riding him out the whole period. Tough on top. Tough ride. Plus he has riding time, so Schriever's going to win this by a score of 5-2. Good for Schriever. That's awesome.
Sounds like over on the women's side, Alejandro, who beat Bayless on mat number 3, is actually going to get the win. I don't know how that shakes out between Gonzalez and Bayless if they get second and third. Schriever getting awarded his championship medal. We're going to step out and take a timeout. We'll be back with more. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
The can't-miss music event of the year is coming to the CW.
The 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Featuring once-in-a-lifetime performances from the biggest superstars in all of music.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's up, Vegas? Make some noise! I don't know if y'all ready for this one.
All hosted by Ryan Seacrest from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Don't miss our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tonight and tomorrow night at 7 on the CW.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. That looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
New on Curiosity Stream. Get ready for the best of the best with our 100 Days of Curiosity, featuring fan-favorite titles like Light on Earth with Sir David Attenborough.
Join me on a journey like no other.
Stephen Hawking's favorite places.
It's a crazy world out there.
The History of Home with Nick Offerman.
Not my home, just homes. Other people's homes.
And many more. It's 100 Days of Curiosity. And for a limited time, get 40% off our annual plan. That's just $1 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and I have a new podcast called NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok.
Ankle breaker! KD!
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be joined by one of the top NBA writers to discuss their latest stories, features, and up-to-the-minute news.
And the rainbow! That, my friends, is Luka Magic!
Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
Put on your Vans because we're going back to 1982. The soundtrack to Fast Times at Ridgemont High contained the biggest names of the decade. One standout, Somebody's Baby by Jackson Brown.
She's probably somebody's only light, gonna shine tonight. Yeah, she's probably somebody.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
When you're unemployed, it can seem like there's no way out. But with the right tools, suddenly it all just clicks. Develop new skills and find your path to a new career at findsomethingnew.org. A message from the Ad Council.
The Hawkeyes play here on AM 800 KXIC, Iowa City's Hawkeye sports leader.
High, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back in Coralville at the Extreme Arena, the 2022 Soldier Salute, 141 pounds on the men's side. Third place goes to Medical Forfeit. Gross of South Dakota State wins that. Fifth place sees Drew Bennett for the Hawkeyes taking on Jaeger Eiche of Minnesota. And he gets a takedown, Bennett does. And at the same time, in the championship bout, Real Woods for the Hawkeyes in on a shot, trying to finish, taking on Julian Sanchez of Army. And Real does dump him down and get the two.
That was a good takedown by Real. Got in ahead of the inside single right there. Was up on his feet with it and just kind of dumped him down, but kept good motion. Kept really good motion there. Was able to get on top here. He leads 2-0.
On the women's side, 116. And the championship bout, Felicity Taylor for the Iowa wrestling team, taking on Aaliyah Gould from Army. It's a big one head-to-head. That should be 2 right there. Real Woods on the men's championship. Doing what he does. A lot of times people are like, hey, he's riding parallel, but he's getting that wrist up onto the back, and then he's going to tilt. Using that. As I say that, I look over, and Bennett, can't tell if he got a count or not.
Looks like he did the way the referees have his hand down. Yep,
he did get a 4 count, so he's up 6-0. There's Woods, got that wing in, hopping over, seeing if he can run that. Another takedown for Felicity Taylor on her match. Ooh, now Bennett almost got headlocked over to his back, but they roll all the way through. Felicity trying to work ankle lace over here. Not able to, so they'll go back to their feet. Real Woods has got that arm actually pulling it all the way over. Up scooping the head, getting some near falls.
Put the arm on the back, got a wing, and went and just kind of horsed it, not kind of straight backwards with it, and then kept circling towards the head and just rolled him on over for a 4-point near fall. And now he's looking for more. Coming over the top of the head here, going to get the fall.
He's trying to grab that head. And
he's got it. He's going to lift the head
a little bit more.
You're going to see the fall here. He should. 25 seconds left to go.
Just got to pick that head up.
Yep.
There he had it.
He's tight right there. Tight. There's the fall. Call the fall.
There it is. 2 minutes and 43 seconds, the time of the fall for Real Woods.
That was 100% workmanlike out of Real Woods there. Takedown to turn to near falls to pin.
Over there, Bennett gives up the escape, gets right back in on the shot, and finishes for 2 more. So he leads 8-1, 15 seconds to go in the first. Felicity Taylor, takedown to a gut wrench, tech fall. 10-0 the final score there for Felicity. Talk about workmanlike. That's how she's been all week. Bennett takes an 8-2 lead into the second period. So you talk about points, Mark. I don't think her match is included in there. The Hawkeye women are now at 123.5 to Army's 103. And you're probably going to add
we're just
5 more, 5.5 more. I would assume tech fall is still 1.5 with the freestyle rules.
I don't know. I don't know
how they
works.
do that team scoring wise.
I'm not sure how that scoring works in freestyle.
Let's see here.
Bennett over there is up 12 to. I can't read that. Is that 12 to 8?
No, it's 9-2.
12 to 9. 9 to 2. I thought it was 12. Man, my eyes are getting bad.
It's 2 points for a fall and an injury default, 1.5 tech fall. There's just no major decision, obviously.
Bennett wrestling in a 5th place match. He's had a good tournament, lost a couple tough matches. I know he lost 3-2 earlier to Sanchez. 32, who Real Wood just pinned in the finals. Bennett lost to him earlier in the quarters by a score of 3-2.
Bennett, another shot, finishes for 2 more, leads 11-2 now. Bennett looking good in this match. Like Mark said, Bennett had lost in the quarterfinals to Sanchez and then lost in sudden victory 8-6 to Gross of South Dakota State. Looked like Bennett was actually doing well. He gave up a late takedown and then got taken down in sudden victory. Gross ended up winning by medical forfeit over Casimir of Columbia. So Bennett going for 5th place. Hawks up over 200 points now. 203. Army has 100. Wyoming has 92.5. Columbia 87.5. South Dakota State 75.5. And we were correct on the women's side. That was 5.5 points. 4 points for championship, 1.5 for the Tech Fall. So the unattached Iowa women at 129 on their team score. 26 points ahead of Army. Bennett started the third period in the top position, leading 11-3. Slide out of bounds with 1:27 on the clock. Escape there for Aish from Minnesota. Bennett drops for the shot, but Aish throws the hands down, blocks it off. Approaching a minute to go in the match. Bennett an 11-3 lead with 2:25 of riding time. Shot by Aish from a ways away. Bennett sprawls back and then reshoots into a low double leg for the two. Being aggressive right there and looked good. Kind of posted both wrists as he was stopping that shot off. And Aish was trying to clear out and just kind of was on his heels somewhat. And Bennett just exploded. Got both legs for the two. There's a roll-through attempt at escape by Aish. 13-5 with 25 seconds left. Should put the headset on, Hannah.
I know, I said, did you cover for me? And she's like, no.
Bennett, another low single. Gets flattened out, gets the head split back in. Trying to come through the other way. Aish reaching back, hanging on to an ankle. Period's going to come to an end. 14-5 will be the final score in favor of Bennett to get fifth place. Quick timeout. Back with more. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
It's time to say good night to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Rachel Bonetta here, host of the Benched with Bonetta podcast, and now the NFL Game Day View podcast. Join me, Cynthia Freeland, Greg Rosenthal, and Patrick Claybon as we break down the week of games. We're going to give you our predictions on things such as how many points will be scored in each game, who is going to win, and how they will do it. Listen to new episodes of the NFL Game Day View podcast every Friday on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, join us Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for Positively Petland right here on AM 800 KXIC. Doug Wagner with Ron Solsrud from Petland, Iowa City. What's the breed of the week?
It is the Brittany. Is that the right breed for your family? Then we're going to go into what is the right pet for your family this Christmas. We're going to cover them all, and you're going to say, that's the one.
Not the Britney Spears, just the Brittany?
Yeah,
okay,
just
good.
the Brittany.
There we go. Petland, Iowa City's Positive Petland, 9 a.m. Sunday, KXIC.
Is it getting harder to find new customers? After all, it's one thing to run a business and another to grow it, especially these days. But what if you had access to everyone listening to me right now? Access to all the customers in your area. As the #1 audio company in America, iHeartMedia gives you access to all the customers you need to grow at a fraction of the cost of digital, video, and social advertising, with experts ready to craft your message fast. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC, Iowa City.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Tom Petty songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Running Down a Dream.
Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads.
Number 2, I Won't Back Down.
Will stand my ground, and I won't back down.
Number 1, Free Fallin'.
Yeah, I'm free. Free falling. Free falling.
Hear more from Tom Petty and similar artists now. Search for Tom Petty on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself for yet another awe-inspiring episode of Cliff Notes Theater. Today's Cliff Notes Theater, the monumental epic movie Titanic.
Oh. Man, this is some boat. Uh-oh.
This has been Cliff Notes Theater. Cliff Notes Theater, when you just don't have time to set through the whole movie.
Welcome back. We are a couple minutes into the championship bout here at 149 pounds. Hawkeye v. Hawkeye. Max Murin hit a nice low double. Able to finish there against Caleb Rachi. Rachi, though, hits a nice roll through and gets the 2-point reversal on Murin. So we're
Really
tied up
nice.
at 2.
Really nice Granby.
Murin, quick hand control, gets out for the escape. So Murin leads 3-2. Also got Jess Aroga wrestling over on the 5th place match, taking on Danny Fungaro of Columbia. No score in that one. 3rd place bout is Anthony Echemindia, wrestling unattached, taking on Will Guida of North Carolina.
Rashi had a great semifinal match against Alchemedia, and I tell you what, it was just that last takedown was just so awesome of Caleb Rachi. A lot of grit, good shot, good strong finish. I like to see this though. I mean, he's staying in there. He's wrestling. It's 3-2. He got a reversal on Murin. I mean, this is our future we're looking at. What's Murin ranked right now? Like 5th or 6th?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Rachi starts down to begin the second period. Hand control out for the escape right before they go out of bounds. I was talking to Cody Goodwin beforehand, Mark, and I asked him, I said, hey, what's the deal with Echemindia? And he said he had some legal issues that he had to leave Ohio State, and apparently there was charges that have been since dropped. But he is now enrolled at DMAC, and his intention is Cody thinks he's maybe going to be leaning towards trying to go to Iowa State.
Yeah, I was just going to say Iowa State. If he's at DMAC.
Yeah.
So he's right there in Ankeny, Ames area. What year of eligibility is he doing?
I would assume he would have 2 years of eligibility left. I think he was at Ohio State for 3 years. Can't remember if he redshirted or not, but he also had his COVID year thrown in there.
He's wrestling a guy from North Carolina right now, Ramos in the corner.
Had a good long talk with Tony. We got back to the arena about the same time as him. Talked to him a little bit upstairs, and then we walked downstairs together, and then we stood and talked for a little while longer. And he's a good guy. I really like Tony.
Wish he would have left on a little bit better terms.
Yeah.
There's a good wrestling right here between Murin and Rachi right there. It's hard to tell who's who between these guys. Both wearing the same singlet, and their haircuts are very similar as well, too.
Well, of course, you got Murin with the green ankle band but red on his shoes, and then you got Rachi with red ankle bands with black and white shoes. So
They're scrambling tough. I'm impressed with Raji so far in this match.
Three as we go to the third. It would be Murin's choice. Jessaroga leads 1-0. As we go to the third. It's funny because the Columbia coach over there in the corner for Jessaroga's match, the one on the right, reminds me of Marinelli.
Yeah.
The one on the left from up here almost reminds you of Cash Wilkie a little bit.
A little bit.
So it's kind of like, wait a sec, what's going on here? Then you realize that it's not those two. 4-3 as Murin gets his escape. Starting the third period. Snap by Rachi.
Yeah. Rachi's been the aggressor against Murin since that takedown. Now Murin,
shot, though, by Murin.
Murin in on a shot on Rachi right here, trying to come out the back door, right on the edge, and he does get the two. I couldn't tell by the scoreboard being in front of me, but it looked like his double, that same type of double maybe.
I think so.
That low double.
He didn't have it super secure, though, and that allowed Rachi to kind of, have the hips turned a little bit, but Murin was able to come up just enough. It was almost like he was about ready to get the neutral danger, so Rachi almost had to bail and give up just the two instead of potential near falls as well. Jessaroga over on mat number 5, 40 seconds to go in regulation, tied up at 1. Riding time doesn't show on here at all, so must not be a factor. Rachi, tripods, reaches back, grabs an ankle as he tries to roll through.
Caleb's having a hard time with those Granbys from Rachi. Not doing it.
Max.
Mirror, not Max. Yeah, Caleb. I don't know why Caleb, but Max is not covering the hips of Rachi very well.
Rachi to his feet, gets the hand control out for the escape. 25 seconds to go. 6-4 is the lead for Murin. Rachi peeks over at the clock, sees 20 seconds, takes a shot right at the edge, gets caught in a front headlock. Clears out of that. I like that right there. I mean, he may not win this match, but he's caught in a front headlock, but he didn't just sit there and say, okay, let's go to a stalemate. Like, he worked. He moved himself to get out of that front head so that he could get back on the offense. Murin wins 6-4.
It's a good match between those two.
Jessaroga, underhook thrown in. Sudden victory over there. He clears out of it. Minute 20 to go. This one will be interesting. I mean, 1-1 and exactly 0 riding time. So neither guy with the takedown, neither guy able to ride the other any longer than the other did. As there, Jessaroga got a little off balance, able to sprawl back as there was a shot attempt. They go out of bounds. Head back to the center with 1 minute on the clock. (3-2) is the score right now in favor of Echemindia in the third place bout. Jessaroga popped looking for that high crotch attempt, but Columbia Fungaro stepped out of it. There's Jessaroga again, another sweep attempt, comes up with that underhook. Drops for an ankle pick, reshot attempt there by Fungaro. Jessaroga comes up with that underhook again, 27 on the clock here in the sudden victory period. Echemindia does win 4-3. Shot by Fungaro from a ways away. Fungaro, another shot. This time, Jessaroga hips back. Looks like we're heading to the tiebreakers.
Jessiroga wrestles so many close 1-to-1, 2-to-1 type matches. Tons and tons of them.
He wins the toss, so he's going to go down first. False start on Jessiroga. Works up to his feet. Fungaro trying to cap that ankle. Kick away, kick away, kick away.
Come on, you got to move here. You got to wrestle here.
There's a stall call for being on the ankle, so that'll be a point for Jessiroga. That's Fungaro's second. He still hasn't come off the leg, though. I mean, so he rides him out. They don't have the point up on the scoreboard, but the referee signaled. So Fungaro's going to go neutral. Trailing 2-1. Hawkeye Wrestling brought to you by Pioneer. When it comes to great yield potential and strong agronomic performance in your fields, choose Pioneer. What's next happens here.
They're not giving a point. It's like this guy can't figure out how to give a point. So it's technically 2-1 in favor of Jessiroga.
Front headlock by Fungaro.
Up to your feet, Jessiroga. Up your feet, up your feet. There you go.
I don't know. I mean, Fungaro's not really looking for the legs, so maybe it was only the first stall call.
Well, he issued a 1. Match is over, though. Must have lost on riding time.
He must have been wrong on that, so yeah, it must have been the riding time point. So Jessiroga is going to lose 2-1. We'll step out and take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Dear driver, on the way to pick up my child, my life flashed before my eyes. It was me you nearly crashed into. Time stopped. I felt hot, like I was wrapped in a blanket. I was thrown into a blur of blinding colors. I saw my husband, children, and mother standing over me. I heard someone screaming. It was me. I saw my hands on the steering wheel. My car steered to avoid you, but it didn't seem like I was even driving. My car stopped alongside the road. I was shaking and out of breath. I was so scared. For me? For other drivers? For you? Dear driver, we share the same roads. Please be careful. Our loved ones are waiting.
What drives you? This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Want to know what to get me for the holidays? I'll make it easy. I love the great local foods at Local Craft Cellar. From Edgewood Locker hams and smoked turkeys to Milton Creamery cheeses. There's nothing at Local Craft Cellar that's not delicious. Really want to get on my good side this holiday? Include Local Craft Cellar's liquor-infused chocolates or craft beer, wine, and spirits. Could I make it any easier? Visit localcraftcellar.com. That's localcraftcellar.com.
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top police songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Roxanne. Number 2, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. Number 1. Every breath you take.
Every breath you take, and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Hear more from The Police and similar artists now. Search for The Police on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
A basket case, a jock, a brain, and everyone in between. The John Hughes classic Breakfast Club dropped in 1985, and its soundtrack gave us this #1 hit by Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me.
Don't you forget about me. Don't.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it.
When your kid can't find the language, find the lyrics. Start a conversation at soundedouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ed Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Welcome back. We are at the Extreme Arena for the Soldier Salute. Stephen Grayson, Mark Ironside, 157 pounds, championship bout. Jacob Wright of Wyoming, scoreless with Cale Swinson of South Dakota State. In the third place bout, Job Chisco of VMI, a 4-0 lead over Bryce Dauphin of Wyoming. And in the fifth place bout, R.J. Weston of Northern Iowa, a 2-1 lead over Nathan Luquez of Army West Point. Spencer Lee, a fall over Drake Ayala. Colin Schriever with a 5-2 win over Reaney. Real Woods with the fall in 2:43. Max Murin wins over Caleb Rachi 6-4. Jace Rhodes loses 6-4. Drew Bennett wins 14-5. And Jessaroga loses 2-1. Headlock there, it looked like, by Wright of Wyoming.
Mm-hmm. I've been watching kind of out to the side, going back to that Jessaroga match. And Jessaroga just lost 2-1 in overtime. And Bobby Telford, who was not in the corner for Jessaroga. It was Lugo and, who was it? Lugo and Dennis? No, Lugo and DeSanto.
Okay.
But he's over there talking to the referee, Kurt Frost, about that call. And like for a long time, and he's questioning how he didn't get one for that when they issued the one, and how he was on that leg right there like that forever. So I don't know whatever came about it, but I'm with Telford. That didn't seem right how we didn't get a point for that.
Unless that was the first stall call and he only called one, but I thought you were supposed to stop the action if you're calling the stall call there, unless there was you just call it as the guy's hitting a Granby or something, and then give him a fresh start.
Is there a return rule? Like you have to return them in a certain amount of time?
I don't think there's anything hard and fast on the return from the rear standing. You just have to make an effort to return. It's when you drop down to
an effort though.
Well, but when you drop down to the leg, that's where you get the 5 count.
And
then you're supposed to stop the riding time because you've stayed on the leg and you get a stall call, unless there's some action that has then been created by the defensive guy, so the guy in the bottom position. And neither guy moved. They basically stayed in that same spot for another 10 or 15 seconds. So, yeah, I don't know why either they didn't stop it or call another stall call in there. Hawk fans, experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels, Homewood Suites and Home 2 Suites by Hilton. Let their warm and friendly staff take care of you and your family when you visit Hawkeye Country. Also, Pioneer, developing new generations of seed innovations for new generations of farmers. Boost your yields with leading-edge, locally tested seed. Pioneer, what's next happens here.
I'm definitely going to talk to Telford about that and see what he found out with Kurt Frost. I want the ruling on that. I want to know. We need to know.
We do. Call him and have him come up right now.
It's
not like he's got anything else going on.
Yeah, he might be a little busy. Who's that coming up on map 5? 2 Iowa guys. That's Riggins, probably?
Yeah, Rhodes and Riggins. Drake Rhodes and Aiden Riggins. 5th place at 165. Updated team scores: Iowa 207, Army 106, Wyoming 92.5, Columbia 88.5, South Dakota State 75.5. On the women's side, Hawkeye women at 129, Army at 107, Life University at 101.5. So you said earlier, everybody just assumes you say, hey, come donate to me on the plunge, while we're on the radio, and that's not really how it happens. You got to do some work and cultivate some relationships. Lo and behold, we get off the air, and I just happen to hit refresh to see where it's at. You got a $1,500 donation just from talking about it on the radio.
Well, that's a big donation that I get from that guy every year, but it's not ever $1,500. I gotta email. I gotta call. I gotta talk to that guy, and I will. I just haven't had a chance here yet.
Did he short you? He normally does more than that.
No, less, way less. And I need to reach out to him and give him a great, big, huge, appreciative thank you, and see what's up. And I didn't know he was even listening. He doesn't. I had no idea. He must have been listening or something. So I appreciate it, Terry. I'll just say that. And I'll be reaching out, and I am very thankful.
Hey, I'm appreciative too, because like I said earlier, it goes to the Hawkeye Wrestling Club, and that's awesome. So if there's anybody else out there listening, just go to the Hawkeye Wrestling Club website, click on events, go to the Arctic Plunge, and make your pledge to either Mark Ironside or me, Stephen Grace, or any other of the jumpers. That's
but
fine
preferably us.
Preferably us. We're the ones here doing the work.
Money goes out of the same pot, but we'd preferably like to get credit for it. We got big goals. Oh.
South Dakota State trying to jump over, and the clock, there was something wrong with the clock. So they hadn't started the action there yet.
I think that's a match.
Well, it's weird because there's times that the clock on the computer doesn't match the clock on the screen, almost like it's lagging a little bit. So there's times you see a few seconds tick away. And then there's other times, like right now, they say the match is over, but it still shows 1 second left. But either way, Wyoming is going to win that one at 157. We'll take a timeout and be back with 165. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Dear driver, on the way to pick up my child, my life flashed before my eyes. It was me you nearly crashed into. Time stopped. I felt hot like I was wrapped in a blanket. I was thrown into a blur of blinding colors. I saw my husband, children, and mother standing over me. I heard someone screaming. It was me. I saw my hands on the steering wheel. My car steered to avoid you, but it didn't seem like I was even driving. My car stopped alongside the road. I was shaking and out of breath. I was so scared. For me, for other drivers, for you. Dear driver, we share the same roads. Please be careful. Our loved ones are waiting.
What drives you? This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Want to know what to get me for the holidays? I'll make it easy. I love the great local foods at Local Craft Cellar. From Edgewood Locker hams and smoked turkeys to Milton Creamery cheeses. There's nothing at Local Craft Cellar that's not delicious. Really want to get on my good side this holiday? Include Local Craft Cellar's liquor-infused chocolates or craft beer, wine, and spirits. Could I make it any easier? Visit localcraftcellar.com. That's localcraftcellar.com.
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Welcome back to the Soldier Salute. 165 pounds on the men's side, 136 on the women's side. It's the one you talked about, Mark. Adugo Nwachukwu for Iowa Wesleyan, taking on Bridget Duty of Army. She is a very good wrestler, and Nwachukwu is. On the men's side, third place will be Cole Moody of Wyoming against Dalton Harkins of Army. Fifth place will be head-to-head Hawkeye Wrestling Club versus Hawkeye, Drake Rhodes and Aiden Riggins. And then Patrick Kennedy will be taking on Jack Thompson of South Dakota State in the championship. Patrick looked really, really good yesterday in his 2 matches. Came out, looked okay today, but kind of slowed things down a little bit. I don't know, like you said, he just kind of looked a little off towards the end of that match.
Definitely looked off in that match. He was getting caught up in that Moody's wrestling and reacting to a lot of fakes and not moving his feet very well. And hopefully tonight he's on pace and ready to go, which he's wrestling Jack Thompson, younger brother of nice ankle pick right there. Beautiful, beautiful ankle pick by Patrick Kennedy, just like he hit on that Moody earlier today. Head and ankle. Wrapped him up, both ankles. It's Jack Thompson out of the Port City Union. His older brothers, Max Thompson, wrestled at Northern Iowa.
Wow.
And his other older brother, Logan Thompson, wrestled at Iowa. He's actually down there in his corner right now, and then he ended up transferring out and leaving and went to Wartburg and finished his collegiate career at Wartburg, where I believe he was a national champion there. Maybe even a 2-time national champion.
Mark, you talk about wanting to watch this Iowa Wesleyan wrestler.
I've watched her. I saw that out of the corner of my eye.
It's like she had double unders and tossed, got a 4 count, held on to it, stood up, had the double unders, and then did an inside trip for another 4 exposure. That was impressive. Kennedy still leads 2-0 right now.
That's it. Match over.
Nwachukwu going to get a fall, it looks like. Hey, look at that. Look at your phone real quick. Appreciate the support, Mr. Danny Oldsa. Still say it would have been fun, like Josh said, if Danny would have come and wrestled here, but he at least made a donation to me for the Hawkeye Wrestling Club Punch.
Are you ahead of me now?
No, not anywhere close.
And then Alton needs to make a bigger donation.
I know it. Kennedy leads 2-1 after he gives the escape to Thompson. Still no score in the 5th place bout.
If he would have made it to town for this dual meet, we could have gone and hit a bowling alley between sessions.
I know it. We had some time. Kennedy missed on a shot. Reshot there by Thompson. Gets to the ankle. Kennedy doing the splits. Locked through the crotch right now.
Kind of like a freestyle here. Freestyle move, just locked through the crotch, just looking to roll through. And there's a stalemate. They're going to go back to the center. These are 2 referees that look very similar here. You got Kurt Frost and Keith Pullman.
Yeah.
Kurt Frost from Gilbertville, Don Bosco. Keith Pullman from Charles City. Not very far apart, but both of them have nice, shiny,
well, and then you got
Mr. Clean heads right now, and they so look so familiar.
You got the side ref over here on mat number 3. That looks like he could be Kurt Frost's twin brother.
I'm glad Keith Pullman is out of retirement. Two really good refs here.
I'm going to talk about shiny domes. Get Mike Allen back in here. I bet if we let Mike Allen change the dress code to a different uniform so he could wear like his different colored suits, he might come back to ref again.
He's roughing at the Midlands, I know.
Kennedy drops for a shot, head to the outside, cutting off to the double, driving through, trying to get that leg clear, and does. 22 seconds to go. Finishes for the 4-1 lead now.
Good job. Good lateral motion by Patrick Kennedy there. Got into that head to the outside high crotch, but he did a really good job of cutting the corner and getting around and taking away the post of Jack Thompson. Good solid takedown. Going to ride him out for the rest of that period. Patrick Kennedy's choice. He's going to choose down here to start the second period. Thompson covers. Kennedy up to his feet, looking to get hand control. Does. 1 point escape for Kennedy. Makes it 5-1. Now you're going to see a barrage at Kennedy, I think, this second period.
Underhook clears out of that. Looked like he was trying to get to a drag, and then both guys snap at the same time. Over there in the fifth place bout, Rhodes in the top position, been riding Riggins this entire second period. Scoreless after one. So I wonder if Kurt Frost, is this close enough he just drives back home to Gilbertville, or would he get a hotel and stay down here? There's a shot and a stall call.
Nice sweep right there by Patrick. He's got it up on his thigh. It's shelved. Lifting up high now. Gets the two takedown. Nice job. Good shot, good finish.
Seven to 1 is the lead for Kennedy. Over there, Riggins had got to his feet, but they run out of bounds.
I haven't even been watching that match. I've been so concentrated on this finals match, I forgot that Drake Rhodes and Aiden Riggins were even wrestling over there for fifth. Still 0-0. Obviously haven't missed much. There's a shot by Jack Thompson. He's in on Kennedy's leg, but Kennedy crotch lifts him through, rolls him through here. That would have been two in freestyle.
Kennedy trying to peel that leg free as he dives over and grabs the ankle. And a stalemate it with 22 on the clock. Over there, Riggins back to his feet. Period comes to an end, so it's scoreless.
22 seconds. That's time to score. That's enough time.
Shot by Thompson. Kennedy comes back up underhook. I'm not going to be able to get anywhere with it, but he'll take a 7-2 lead into the third period. Over there, Rhodes gets the escape, so he's got a 1-0 lead, plus he's got 1:45 riding time. Neutral here to begin the third period.
Nice sweep single again by Patrick Kennedy. Trying to finish here. Oh, thought he was going to cut off to the double there, but he ended up letting Jack Thompson cut around. They get around the corner on him here. It's going to go to a stalemate. That was a great shot by Kennedy. Can't believe he didn't finish.
Thompson a shot. Kennedy throws the leg back and then stuffs the head, gets around behind and gets the two.
That was a really good go behind by Patrick Kennedy right there. Now he goes right into a 2-on-1.
Didn't even let go of the arm as he gave him the escape. Now he just lets go of that. 9-3 is the lead.
Got caught reaching big time. Got caught reaching big time from Jack Thompson. Came across reaching hard. Beautiful duck right there by Thompson, as you mentioned.
Thompson looking far side cradle as Kennedy's working up to his feet. Bumps him back down.
Kennedy got to keep wrestling here up to his feet. Hand control.
10-5 is the lead now for Kennedy. Shot Thompson there straight on by Thompson. Seconds left on the fifth place match. Rhodes leading 1-0. Plus he has riding time. Down here on first place match, Kennedy working a front headlock. Stalemate it with 17 on the clock. Rhodes is going to win 2-0 over Riggins for fifth place. Patrick Kennedy, 10 seconds to go. Now Another front headlock.
Can I score this here?
He's got that leg driving through. And he's not going to be able to get around behind before time runs out. 10-5 will be the win.
Credit to Patrick Kennedy. He worked hard there in that match. Jack Thompson never gave up. Made Patrick work hard for that 11-5 win.
We'll step out for a timeout. We'll be back with more from Coralville. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Testosterone levels are at an all-time low. Individual T levels decline 1% every year. Chalk, CHOQ, is the new champion of natural testosterone boosters. Chalk's main ingredient is clinically studied to naturally boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity and boost your daily energy with Chalk's Male Vitality Stack. For a limited time, our listeners will get 30% off at CHOQ.com with promo code USA. CHOQ.com, code USA.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
The mentors of Big Brothers Big Sisters make a crucial difference in children's lives.
We have a lot in common. I like robotics and she's a software engineer. Correct.
Today, Big Brothers Big Sisters needs more mentors to help make that difference.
She gave a woman role model to me. I didn't really have one of those.
Become a Big today at bbbs.org.
The mentors of Big Brothers Big Sisters make a crucial difference in children's lives.
My big brother has helped me, just being a better person, having a better attitude about life.
Today, Big Brothers Big Sisters needs more mentors, especially men, to help make that difference.
Having a big brother in my life, it means a lot. He's like somebody I really look up to, something that I want to be like him one day.
Become a Big today at bbbs.org.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Back at the Soldier Salute, Stephen Grace and Mark Ironside. A couple of forfeits on the men's side. At 174 pounds. Third place bout, Hastings of Wyoming will take on Hendricks of Bellarmine. Pasuk of Army is going to win by forfeit over Wolak of Columbia for the championship. And then Calhoun, wrestling unattached, going to get the forfeit over Brennan Swafford. I wonder if Columbia had to leave early, because they've had a couple guys that forfeited. I don't know if their travel plans, they had to get out of here too soon. Or
That's really weird. You know what? The finals are going to start coming into the tournament.
That's all right. That gives us a chance to focus here on the women's side, 143. And for the Iowa women, it's Reese Laramendi. She's taking on Brenda Reyna, who was the 2021 national champion. That's a good test for her. Iowa Wesleyan and Life U have come ahead of Army now. Army's down into fourth place. I do see Abe Assad down there with his headgear on, waiting, so he'll be up next.
That's a good sign. That's a really good sign, because if it was even remotely a tough situation for him, whether it was they didn't really know for sure what the exact injury was, then he would not be wrestling. So that shows me that he's not as injured as maybe what we thought or what it looked.
Score between Laramendi and Reyna. There's a point for Laramendi as the passivity clock was on Reyna. 30 seconds went by, no score, so that's a point for Laramendi. She tries a little slide-by action. get anywhere with it. Not a lot of action in that first 3 minutes between those two. Almost like both of them are just afraid to make a mistake. So they head to the break with Laramendi leading 1-0. Get started here again.
Well, I'm just really happy that Abe Assad's going to be wrestling. That makes me, and the Hawkeye Nation, should make the Hawkeye Nation very, very happy.
Yeah. Referee stops the action here with Laramendi, warning Reyna for grabbing fingers. He'd already pointed at Laramendi a couple of times, so could see her go onto the passivity clock as well. And there is the warning. Both these girls wrestling with a non-tie. And then as I say that, they both drop at the same time. Laramendi got a little lower, gets the takedown, and she goes right down to the ankle to see if she can lace that up. Can't get that. Goes up to a gut, see if she can turn it there. And does for two. So that'll make it 5-0. Now 6-0 for a push out.
What's going on here? She's got something on her eye or a cut or something?
She's like rubbing her forehead. I don't know if she got dinged because they both dropped at the same time. They may have headbutted there a little bit. So it's a 5-0 lead now for Laramendi. Now Reyna in on a shot. Laramendi stepping over it. Now rolls Reyna through and gets two more on the exposure. Now they're each laying the opposite way. Going to hold on for the stoppage and head back to their feet. So 7-0 is the lead for Laramendi. That's the interesting thing about freestyle is looked like she was in a bad spot, but she got just enough control, forced Reyna over, and gets 2 points out of it off of action started by Reyna. There's Reyna again, in on a shot. Laramendi reaching back, grabbing a leg. Probably just hanging on here for the stoppage. She's going to adjust again, see if she can get a crotch lift out of this. Can't, so now they do get the stoppage back to their feet. Straight down here in front of us, Mark, you got Real Woods and Spencer Lee watching.
Where?
Just straight down here. Right in the penalty box area or the bench area. So you've seen Real Woods. I mean, he's watching his teammates, and I've seen him talking to some of the ladies a few times. So Ironman joking around with a few of the women wrestlers earlier, too. I think there's a nice relationship and respect there between the men and the women. And
yeah, I don't know. I haven't asked like how that transition's going or seen. I know that would be really difficult to to have free reign of your room anytime you want. That's how it's been, for Tom and Terry since they walked onto the University of Iowa campus, and then all through their coaching, and then now they have to share it. And
Right.
They can't be in the room at all when the women are running practice and having their own practices and stuff. So that's got to be definitely different in your schedule and not accustomed to what you're used to.
Yeah. Blair Mindy is going to win that 7-0. A big win for her. We're going to step out and take a break. We'll be back with 184. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and I have a new podcast called NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be joined by one of the top NBA writers to discuss their latest stories, features, and up-to-the-minute news.
Rainbow! That, my friends, is Luka Magic!
Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Dear driver, on the way to pick up my child, my life flashed before my eyes. It was me you nearly crashed into. Time stopped. I felt hot, like I was wrapped in a blanket. I was thrown into a blur of blinding colors. I saw my husband, children, and mother standing over me. I heard someone screaming. It was me. I saw my hands on the steering wheel. My car steered to avoid you, but it didn't seem like I was even driving. My car stopped alongside the road. I was shaking and out of breath. I was so scared. For me? For other drivers? For you? Dear driver, we share the same roads. Please be careful. Our loved ones are waiting.
What drives you? This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Hey, join us Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for Positively Petland right here on AM 800 KXIC. Doug Wagner with Ron Solsrud from Petland, Iowa City. What's the breed of the week?
It is the Brittany. Is that the right breed for your family? Then we're going to go into what is the right pet for your family this Christmas. We're going to cover them all, and you're going to say, that's the one.
Not the Britney Spears, just the Brittany?
Yeah,
okay,
just
good.
the Brittany.
There we go. Petland, Iowa City's Positive Petland, 9 a.m. Sunday, KXIC.
Is it getting harder to find new customers? As the #1 audio company in America, we can help you grow your business at a fraction of the cost. Get started today by visiting iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Welcome back to the Soldier Salute. Stephen Grace, Mark Ironside at the Extreme Arena in Coralville. 184 pounds. Abe Assad for the Hawkeyes against Bennett Berge from South Dakota State, wrestling unattached. Third place bout. Trying to get it updated here. Roman Rogatsky of South Dakota State against Sam Abdurazak of Army. Fifth place will be Guillermo Escobedo of Wyoming against Quayan Short of Wyoming. On the women's side, Bella Meir at 155. Wrestling unattached for the Hawkeye women, taking on Latifah McBride. Hawkeye women, 133 points.
I like that. Nice shot by Assad on the edge right there. Really good double, trying to get to the attack right away. And drove Berge out of bounds. Is this any relation to the Berge from
I don't remember
Penn
for
State?
sure.
And then I think so. They're from Minnesota originally.
I believe so,
it makes sense that they go to
From Manterville. I think so, yes. Abe with a low single there, switches off and gets the other ankle for two. Down there in the women's match, Bellamere gets pushed out, so she trails 1-0. Trying to fight off a shot attempt by McBride. And does fight it off, no points. Abe gives up the escape to Berge. He leads 2-1 now. Abe does have that right leg and a sleeve.
What was that other one from Penn State? Brady Berge?
Brady, I believe, yeah.
And didn't he actually go last year to South Dakota State to be an assistant coach and then
ended up wrestling
left
for a year.
and went back to Penn State?
Yeah.
Well, then I bet you anything it is.
Another stalemate over there in the women's match. There's a shot by Assad. Berge dives over the top, grabbing onto our ankle. Abe trying to elevate up here. Unable to, so we'll get a stalemate. Bride with a tough front headlock against Bellamere.
Shane Olson, a good friend of mine. He's providing us some information throughout the weekend. Thanks, Shane. Also gave me my first pledge last night. His wife, Jessica, did. His better half said that this is Brady's brother, and he was a 5-time state champion out of Minnesota at 5 different weight classes.
Wow. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. Now remember that Minnesota and South Dakota, North Dakota, you can wrestle, I think even as an 8th grader. Yeah, you can wrestle as a state term as an 8th grader. So you can be a 5-timer. Which is why I think Mark Hall might have been a 5-timer too.
Sod leads 2-1 at the end of the first.
Actually, I think that, I wonder if that's his brother Brady in the corner right there. Looks like him.
Well, that's kind of interesting. You saw the head ref in the Bellamere match called for a push-out for McBride, but the two side refs agreed that it was a point for Mir instead, so it's 1-1 instead of 2-0. Berge chooses down. Assad rode for a while. Berge, though, able to get his hand control, gets out for the escape, ties it up at 2. Matt McDonough in the house.
Yeah, I seen him earlier. It's always good to have Matt McDonough in the house.
Don't let him know there's a headset, though.
Yeah, no kidding. You talk about a busy, busy man, that kid. Whew.
That's good, though. He's got enough energy to do a lot. Assad, another
job, full-time dad, full-time running a wrestling club.
Assad dives in on that double leg, but gets caught underneath. Goes to a stalemate again. Two-two is our score. 55 seconds to go in the second period. Assad for the Hawkeyes. Bennett Berge for South Dakota State. A lot of good defense over there for Bellamere, but now she's getting caught in that whip over spot. Able to almost limp arm out of it. Now she's going to give up 2. McBride knows what she's doing right there. She cinches that head up a little bit tighter.
Yeah,
Mir tries to roll through.
Give her credit. Man, a lot of effort there from Mir fighting that off. There's
Assad gets taken down.
Yeah, Berge just took down Assad.
Now that's going to be it. McBride did a great job, just kept adjusting the hips, got up high enough that Mir just didn't have a way to fight that off anymore. Assad up to his feet. Tries to hit a roll through there. And he's going to trail 4-2 as we go to the third period. Abe's choice, he'll start down. Abe gets set. Keeping that right arm back, trying to keep the leg out. Up to his feet, hand control, escape. Berge didn't put much effort in trying to return him there. 4-3, Assad trails. Berge swipes at the ankle. Abe keeps that hand down, clears it out. .125 to go. Assad trails 4-3.
Man, Assad got to get going here.
Aaron takes a head to the outside shot, but gets hipped into, almost knocked over. Still down on the ankle. Berge trying to spin back around, grab our ankle. Probably going to go to a stalemate here. And they do. .51 on the clock. Snap by shot. Abe into a low double. Trying to finish here. Berge wrapped around us, rolls us through. We plant, post back the other way. Roll through. Now cut off to a single. Berge showing some great defense right there.
Good hips. Crazy good hips.
Now Abe's in some trouble. Pretty well extended there. He sucks it in. Head to the outside. Gets him draped up over the back.
Abe's not too great at finishing on this side, though.
Roll through, out of bounds. 17 on the clock. Riding time not a factor, so Abe needs the takedown to win it. It's a stall call and a point to tie it right off the whistle. Wow. That was a fast stall call.
Wow.
Not sure I agree with that. I mean, it's advantageous for Abe, but because it wasn't like he was backing out. He literally just threw his leg out of the way.
Abe hit a shot right off the whistle when they called him for stalling. You don't see that very often, that's for sure.
So 4-4, sudden victory. 2 minutes on the clock. This guy posting on the other. There's a shot by Berge from a ways away. Abe hipping in. Clear out. Berge tries a misdirection shot right there. Abe into a front headlock again.
Abe's got to work hard here. He's going to have to try and score some points somehow. He's got to get a takedown here. Come on, Abe. He doesn't look good. Go back to where you were down by a point. That's when you needed to start wrestling. Like when you're down, you were wrestling so much better when you were down by a point and only less than a minute to go. Now that it's tied in overtime, you're kind of just not doing anything. Let Berge definitely dictate the overtime period for sure.
There's a stall call on Abe. He tries to reshoot. Slide by action. They go out of bounds, head back to the center. 31 on the clock. Swipes, goes that low double again. Split in the middle, trying to sit back into him. Berge hanging on to our ankle. We're able to pull that leg free, step over one, try to pop the other one off. Now looking for that neutral danger position. Got a 2 count, rolls back the other way, and grabs the ankles for the 2. Assad wins by a score of 6-4. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more right after this. This is Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Dear driver, on the way to pick up my child, my life flashed before my eyes. It was me you nearly crashed into. Time stopped. I felt hot, like I was wrapped in a blanket. I was thrown into a blur of blinding colors. I saw my husband, children, and mother standing over me. I heard someone screaming. It was me. I saw my hands on the steering wheel. My car steered to avoid you, but it didn't seem like I was even driving. My car stopped alongside the road. I was shaking and out of breath. I was so scared. For me, for other drivers, for you. Dear driver, we share the same roads. Please be careful. Our loved ones are waiting.
What drives you? This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Want to know what to get me for the holidays? I'll make it easy. I love the great local foods at Local Craft Cellar. From Edgewood Locker hams and smoked turkeys to Milton Creamery cheeses. There's nothing at Local Craft Cellar that's not delicious. Really want to get on my good side this holiday? Include Local Craft Cellar's liquor-infused chocolates or craft beer, wine, and spirits. Could I make it any easier? Visit localcraftcellar.com. That's localcraftcellar.com.
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Back in the Extreme Arena, the 2022 Soldier Salute. Stephen Grace, Mark Ironside. 197 pounds, Jacob Warner for the Hawkeyes, taking on teammate Colby Franklin, wrestling unattached. Third place will be Zach Glazier for the Hawkeyes against Wyatt Volker from UNI, wrestling unattached. And on the women's side, Kylie Welker for Iowa women, wrestling unattached, taking on Tristan Kelly from Army. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, and voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year, proudly supports Hawkeye Wrestling. Trust Dodge Street Tire for honest auto repair and the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 30 good years on the corner of Dodge and Church Streets in Iowa City.
Well, we got 2 matches to watch now. This Glazier and Volker match should be pretty good.
Ooh, Kylie Welker taking injury time over there. Volker's already beat Franklin this year.
Nice shot right there by Glazier and deep on Volker, but Volker really calm, cool, and collective there, just whizzing in and like no big deal. Glazier comes up in the air with it, trips him up for a 2-point takedown. Nice shot, nice finish by Glazier.
There, Warner snaps Franklin into himself, and then as Franklin was clearing out, Jacob just dropped down and grabbed both ankles. He gets a quick 2 takedown. Warner leads 2-0, a minute gone by. Glazier leads 2-0, 45 seconds gone by. Kylie Welker, if I remember correct, has been battling some injuries, so she hasn't seen a lot of action. She's glad to be back, but looks like she's going to have to be done. That was one where they had just 3 wrestlers, so they'd done 3 different best of 3s, and she had already defeated this gal from Army. So she would have won that one. She would have won it easily, outright, but instead Kelly's going to get the win there.
Injuries are no fun. That is for sure. But they come along with a sport like this, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Warner still leads 2-0, a minute 10 to go as he's continuing to ride Franklin. Volker gets the escape, so Glazier for the Hawkeyes leads the UNI Panther 2-1.
Ooh. Warner's getting intentional release. Colby Franklin now. Oh, I thought he was, but he actually
start and then covers him.
Thought he was getting intentional release, and I was kind of surprised by that. With a minute and 12 to go. But he started like that and then plowed right into him off the whistle. Got Marinelli and Caleb Young in the corner for Colby Franklin, and Morningstar and Terry Brands. Corner for Jacob Warner. Still 2-1 over there. 20 seconds to go in the first period between Glazier and Volker. Ooh,
nice
Glazier
ankle pick
another
again.
shot. Beautiful shot. 2-point takedown for Glazier. Wow, what a nice pick. And he came up in the air with it, tripped him up for another quick 2-point takedown. Those are two great takedowns for Glazier.
Warner
That's a big takedown at the end of the period, too.
Yeah. Warner gave the escape and then gets in on a shot. Roll through by both guys, and Jacob eventually comes up with the takedown. Wow. Warner now leads 4-1. 4-1 is the lead for Glazier as we go to the second period.
Glazier out right away, right out of the gate with a real quick inside switch. So he leads 5-1 now. Volker's going to probably start coming at him pretty hard, I would think, here. He needs to score a couple of takedowns. There's a shot by Volker from a ways away. Didn't even come close.
There, Franklin rolled through. Jacob Warner let go and then gets back behind the hips, covers. He's got Franklin flattened out on the mat. So Jacob takes a 4-1 lead into period number 2 as well. Score big savings. Shop online at HyVeeDeals.com. Hy-Vee is proud to support Hawkeye Wrestling. Glazier gets another takedown. Just looking up from reading that liner and able to get back around behind. Covers, so he leads 7-1 now. They head out of bounds, head back to the center. Warner starts down to begin the second period. Right up to his feet, escape. So Warner leads Franklin 5-1. Franklin, shot from a non-tie. Warner kept the arms down. Franklin swipes at the leg again. Warner reshoots. Clear away. Another misdirection shot there by Franklin, but again from a long ways away. Warner cleared an underhook, dropped down to the mat, but couldn't hang on to the leg.
I didn't see how did Glazier get that other.
I didn't see the takedown. I just saw him finish it right on the edge. Franklin takes a shot, but Warner using his length, hipping in. He's got Franklin fully extended. Volker gets the escape over there inside of a minute to go second period. Glazier leads Volker 7-2, it should be. Warner leads Franklin 5-1.
Ooh. Volker with a shot from ways away. Glazier trying to get the go behind right now. 20 seconds to go here in that second period. Gets to the leg. Right on the edge.
Trying to see if he can pull him back in to finish. That short time over there. Not going to be able to, so 7-2 will be the lead for Glazier going to the third. Tries throwing the underhook by.
He's picking neutral here.
Must be.
What's going on here? They don't know whose choice it is or something.
I think Volker's choosing neutral because I think Glazier went down to begin the period.
Yeah, he did. That's right.
Warner leads 5-1. Franklin will start down.
Yep, Volker did choose neutral.
Seven to 2 is the lead for Glazier for third place. 5-1 is the lead for Warner for first place. Roll through by Franklin, but Warner let go, gets back on him.
Good at those Granbys.
Up to his feet. Warner works him back down, and they slide out of bounds.
Glazier not giving Volker anything to work with. Glazier looking good, really moving his feet. There's another shot by Glazier. Single, low single, cuts off to the double for another takedown. Looks awesome takedown. Man, Glazier is looking good in this match. Really solid shots and quick finishes. Makes it 9-2 now, plus I'm sure he has riding time, you would think.
I believe so, yes.
Volker with a 1-point escape.
Franklin out of bounds again. 5-1 is the lead still for Jacob Warner. Glazier goes for that ankle upping again. Now Warner releases Franklin, makes it 5-2. Franklin, a shot from a ways away. Warner felt that one coming, just stuffed him to the mat, and then rolls him over, almost put him to his back.
Well, that was Franklin there trying to get kind of cute at the end here and trying to get something going and rolling, and he rolled himself to his back. And now Warner locks up a cradle, and he's going to take him over, get near falls, and that might be the end. Nope.
Lost the cradle. Got a
Franklin
2 count
broke
out
the
of
grip.
it.
Looks like
there's Glazier. One more takedown right before the period ends. Gives him an 11-3 lead.
Wow.
Plus the riding time, 12-3 major decision for Glazier for third.
That's a big win right there for Glazier. Not just a big win, but just like a big win in how he won.
Yeah.
Holy camole. Warner's got 15 seconds to go here against Colby Franklin. He's up 9-2, 10-2. He's going to have a major of his own.
That is as they go out of bounds with 2 seconds left. Looks like how it will end. So Warner wins 10-2 to get the title as well. We're going to step out for a break. We'll be back with the heavyweights. You're listening to Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Dear driver, on the way to pick up my child, my life flashed before my eyes. It was me you nearly crashed into. Time stopped. I felt hot like I was wrapped in a blanket. I was thrown into a blur of blinding colors. I saw my husband, children, and mother standing over me. I heard someone screaming. It was me. I saw my hands on the steering wheel. My car steered to avoid you, but it didn't seem like I was even driving. My car stopped alongside the road. I was shaking and out of breath. I was so scared. For me, for other drivers, for you. Dear driver, we share the same roads. Please be careful. Our loved ones are waiting.
What drives you? This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
CorridorHalfOff.com has the deals for you right now. You can get half-off rounds of golf to Gardner Golf Course for the 2023 season. You can also get half-off great food from our restaurants like Brick and Iron and Tavern Blue in Coralville or Earl's Chili and Grill in Marion. And don't forget to treat your pets. There's also half-off deals for Muddy Puppy Pet Market in Coralville. All these deals are available right now at CorridorHalfOff.com. Certificates available is limited, so log on to CorridorHalfOff.com now to take advantage.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and I have a new podcast called NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be joined by one of the top NBA writers to discuss their latest stories, features, and up-to-the-minute news.
And the rainbow! That, my friends, is Luka Magic!
Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is Iowa Hawkeye Wrestling on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City.
Hi, I'm Johnny Ergson Tata, and I will never forget meeting Alyssa, who suffered from hyperacusis. Alyssa virtually lived in her dark bedroom, and when I spoke with her, I had to do so in a gentle whisper. What is hyperacusis? Well, imagine being at a movie where the soundtrack is turned way, way up. After 5 minutes, you just have to leave holding your ears. Things like turning newspaper pages, running water, your child placing dishes on the table, all are intolerable to someone like Alyssa. Hyperacusis is a strange condition, but even people who suffer from serious migraines experience it. Now, you may not know someone like Alyssa, but her story underscores that all of us are being constantly bombarded with noise. So, friend, take the earplugs out and turn down the volume. And when you have a chance, visit disabilitycampaign.org to learn more about hyperacusis and other disabilities.
Welcome back to the Soldier Salute. A lot of oohs and ahs as Tony Cassiope gets his first takedown. Tony actually had to fight off as Katka from Navy was in deep on a shot twice, and Tony fought it off. And then Tony in on a front or on an underhook, threw it by down to the ankles, and then gets in on another shot right there and finishes for two, and now starts going to work from the top position.
Man, that was a beautiful, beautiful ankle pick by Tony Cassiope on the edge of the mat there. Just picture perfect. So explosive, too. For a big heavyweight, lowered his level right to the ankle, through his underhook side through, and then lassoed up the ankle. It's just, wow. And that last takedown, he just got a second takedown on Katka, too. Looked good on a single with a nice dump action. And we're going to tension release him again.
Takedown, optional start to release, takedown, ride for a little bit, optional start to release.
I've been watching this Katka through the tournament, and he's looked good. He's had some great offense.
And there he takes a shot from a long ways away, and Tony almost locked in the cradle and then just gets the easy go behind.
Until he's ran into Tony, and Tony... It came out hard against Tony. He was in deep on a shot, and then we fought that off, and they got in on another shot, and he stepped out of it.
Now he's got the arm working it up onto the back. Scooping the head, and he flats him over.
Just horsed him over. Wow.
Trying to settle in. He's got 51 seconds. He doesn't need him at all. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Tony Cassiope pins his way through the tournament to win the inaugural Soldier Salute.
He never went out of the first period, and he got 3 takedowns before that.
Yeah.
That looked pretty impressive.
Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that Bradley Hill wrestling over on mat number 3, and he's getting some near falls. Got to 2 count. He's taking on Jonathan Chesser of the Citadel. University of Iowa Healthcare has the game plan for your same-day healthcare needs. If you need treatment for a common illness or minor injury, visit one of several UI Quick Care or Urgent Care locations throughout the Iowa City-Cedar Rapids corridor. Their care and expertise will help you get back in the game. UI Healthcare, proud to sponsor your Iowa Hawkeyes. Also reminding you that when you plant Whiffles, you're not just choosing superior seed corn, you're making a statement, one that says staying independent, staying family-owned means something on your farm. So make your choice, plant your independence. Plant Whiffles. Neutral here to begin the second period. Hill leading Chesser. Hawkeyes going to win with 228 points as Hill gets another takedown over there in that fifth-place bout. Army will be second with 106. Wyoming, 99.5. Columbia, 88.5. South Dakota State, 76.5. Hawks with 8 champions. No entry at 157. Brennan Swafford was wrestling unattached but forfeited out at 174. Otherwise, Spencer with the pin over Drake Ayala. Schriever with the win over Rini of Columbia. Woods with the pin over Sanchez of Army. Murin with the win over Rachi. Kennedy with a 10-5 win over Jack Thompson. Assad a 6-4 sudden victory win over Berge of South Dakota State. Warner wins 10-2 over teammate Colby Franklin. And Cassiope with the fall in 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Glacier gets third. Rhodes over Riggins for fifth. Jessaroga finishes 6th. Bennett finishes 5th. And then Jace Rhodes finishes in 4th place, losing a tight one 6-4.
Jace Rhodes had a good tournament. Bennett had a good tournament. Caleb Rachi had a good tournament. These young guys wrestled really well.
And like we said multiple times, I mean, not to sound like a broken record, but that's the important thing of having this kind of tournament is to get these guys the opportunity to come out and play. Come out and wrestle. Get some matches. Hill gets taken down there right at the very end of the period, so he's going to lead 6-3. That's our Hawkeye Tournament recap presented by Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, home of the Draft Day Sports Lounge, a luxury hotel and spa, 5 restaurants and more just minutes south of Iowa City. Well, over on the women's side, Hawkeye women going to win. At least their unattached team is going to win. 145 points. Life University has 129. Army with 128.5. Iowa Wesleyan 118.5. And Indiana Tech with 99 points. Iowa Wesleyan has one more wrestler, but even with a fall, they would not be able to catch Army. .64 is the score down there for Hill. Shot taken by Chesser from the Citadel. Hill tracking him down, locked through the crotch. As quick as he looked through that first period and a half mark, he's really started to slow down, and Chester's really started to pick up his pace a lot more here in this second half of this match.
Yeah. I was going to say there should be 2, but he still had our ankle. Now he's turning into us and doing the splits. No, giving up 2. Is it 6-6 now?
6-6, but Hill has over 3 minutes of riding time.
Up now, up, Hill, up.
Did he get the?
No.
Did he cut him?
No.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did. That's 2 takedown.
So now it's 8-7.
13 seconds.
Hill trying to kick away.
Keep kicking.
Stall call as he got to the 5 count. Columbia coach is not happy with that stall call.
He's saying that he let go of the ankle. Like he put both hands up in the air, but I don't know if he did it before the 5 count. But he also might have been holding it with his knees too. I'm not sure.
So Hill either needs to explode out in 3 seconds to tie it up and win on a riding time point, or he's going to go to sudden victory.
They got 8-7 now. Should be.
Yeah, 8-7's right. I think they were wondering if that was his second stall call, but that's the first one on. Each guy has one, it looks like. Hill to his feet. Out, gets the escape. The referees are going to talk about it to see. Columbia said no.
He had the escape. For sure he had the escape.
Just depends on if time ran out was the only thing.
I thought for sure he had the escape.
One escape. They do award it, and then one riding time point. Hill is going to win. 9-8. So, good way to close things out for these young guys. A lot of matches over these last couple of days, Mark. A lot of good opportunities for these guys, and now we headed to the new year, and we're basically hitting, for all intents and purposes, the home stretch with the Big Ten portion of the schedule. Throw Okie State in there at the end of February, and this is where, this early part of the year, you're doing, a lot of different things, kind of, not slowly working your way in, but you're kind of working your way in, but now you're to the season, and this is where you really start fine-tuning and make sure that you're on your A game so that come 6-8 weeks when you're heading to the postseason, you're ready to rock and roll at the best of your ability.
Yeah, this is going to be now is when the season really starts kicking into high gear, starts going fast. Some trips, some travel. Not that you haven't been already.
I was going to say, I've been all over the place this year already.
This is when the season really starts kicking into high gear, and we start moving through the conference season. Things get really interesting on anytime you're wrestling a Big Ten conference schedule, and then before you know it, we're going to be going into the Big Tens themselves. Where's Big Tens at this year?
Michigan.
Michigan, huh?
Technically, Life University is going to win the team title since the Iowa women are wrestling unattached, so they can't win, but they did have the most points. And like we said, the Iowa Hawkeye men are going to win on the men's side. Well, Mark, glad to have you along for this weekend. Looking forward to a lot of great matches here coming up. Hawks win this nice event, and we're looking forward to seeing this grow into something bigger and better next year and in years to come from there as well.
Yeah, new year, and it's going to be a very interesting season for the second half. It just depends on how healthy the Hawkeyes can stay. Will allow to determine the a lot of that will determine the outcome of the Big Tens and the Nationals. So we're getting into the grueling time of the season. It's one meet after another, so I don't know. My New Year's resolution is health. Stay healthy. Not just the Iowa Hawkeye wrestling team, but all of our listeners out there, and to you and I when we jump into a frozen body of water here in a couple of weeks.
Waiting to get everybody out there for the team banner presentation. Get all the good stuff for the photogs. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage. Hawkeye men win. Hawkeye women had the most points but are not eligible to win. A lot of great action there. So for Mark Ironside, until we're back on the air 1 week from tonight, I believe it is.
Does it say Friday?
Yep, Friday night.
1 week from tonight,
against Illinois. 7 o'clock is the start time. So we'll be on with a 6:45 pre-meet. Until then, for Mark Ironside, this is Stephen Grace. Have a happy new year, and we'll talk to you from Carver next Friday. This has been Hawkeye Wrestling from Learfield.
Dear driver, on the way to pick up my child, my life flashed before my eyes. It was me you nearly crashed into. Time stopped. I felt hot, like I was wrapped in a blanket. I was thrown into a blur of blinding colors. I saw my husband, children, and mother standing over me. I heard someone screaming. It was me. I saw my hands on the steering wheel, My car steered to avoid you, but it didn't seem like I was even driving. My car stopped alongside the road. I was shaking and out of breath. I was so scared. For me, for other drivers, for you. Dear driver, we share the same roads. Please be careful. Our loved ones are waiting.
What drives you? This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Want to know what to get me for the holidays? I'll make it easy. I love the great local foods at Local Craft Cellar. From Edgewood Locker hams and smoked turkeys to Milton Creamery cheeses. There's nothing at Local Craft Cellar that's not delicious. Really want to get on my good side this holiday? Include Local Craft Cellar's liquor-infused chocolates or craft beer, wine, and spirits. Could I make it any easier? Visit localcraftcellar.com. That's localcraftcellar.com.
We're all looking for ways to fight inflation. Choosing Monica's can help. Their portions are big, so you can share your meal with someone in your group and still get plenty. Or just take your leftovers home for a free meal tomorrow. Also, you can always order off the specials menu. Every day there are 2 items on special. And always take advantage of free bread and soft drink refills and happy hour on weekdays. Monica's, a great way to fight inflation.
Of that program and the Bo Schembechler and all the other stuff. But I just like the idea that he's a made man. Who could write that? That he has nothing. It should be Jim Harbaugh needs to finish the job, right?
Internally right now, if I'm a Michigan fan, I want nothing more than to get another crack at Georgia. That, to me, is where I would sit right now like, I want to play Georgia.
Because they embarrassed you last year.
That's the team I would beat them, getting past TCU.
If he does that and wins, and then he decides, okay, I'm going to go back to the pros and I'm done. I got the job done.
Yeah.
The job isn't done. Like, if people think that he came back and just made them relevant, didn't he come back to win a championship? That's your alma mater, right? You played for Bo. He has all that. He was the quarterback for Michigan, captain comeback. I got all that.
Yep.
But didn't you come back to deliver that championship and then you could ride off in the sunset?
Yeah. I wouldn't even feel good if I had to play Ohio State again. I'd be like, all right, I beat them. I blew them out. What
Ohio
fun
State,
is that?
it's even questionable that they got rewarded to go to the
right.
I mean, seriously.
Well, what are you going to do at that point in time, though? USC probably didn't deserve to be
because of that,
number 4
right?
anyway,
No.
But, the defense was horrible.
All year. But that was bad. I don't know. All right, 877-99 on Fox. We want to hear from you. 877-996-6369 on this Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. Really, I want you to chime in. Lock in. Jim Harbaugh, he has nothing to prove at Michigan?